Real estate is a big thing in cities. People clamor for good homes and builders satisfy their demands. Something similar happens among the avian species too. In that respect, let's talk about a friendly, cumbersome avian species, the crow. Crows fight for the best branch, best tree to start building their nests. The noise of their fights and arguments fill the morning air, and we are forced to witness the drama. After much pushing, elbowing and pecking, the alpha crow prevail, and the process of nest building begins. The female has laid 2 eggs. They are pear-shaped and glossy. The eggs need to be incubated for 15 to 17 days. The female crow will do most of the incubation. The scene is set. It's perfect. The sun is setting and the clouds are gathering, heralding the monsoon. The chicks have hatched, and the crow parents huddle over their hatchlings. The 2 chicks in the nest are now 2 weeks old. They seem to be anxiously looking out for their mama from their cozy nest. Hunger pangs. They are also enjoying the gentle sway of the branch generated by the winds. Mother hops into the nest to check on the babies. Oh, what joy! Food at last! Meanwhile, Dad stays far, keeping a watch out for intruders. The chicks caw in distress when Mama has no food to offer them. Mom hops around as if promising them a meal soon, does a few checks, pokes a beak into the nest and flies away, leaving her chicks disappointed and hungry. The chicks go back to resting in their nest, resigned to their fate of a day without food, probably. What a nest the enterprising parents have got together. A motley of materials ranging from twigs to thin metal wires. Effects of urbanization. But hey, home is home. After what seems a long and patient wait, Mom returns. She pokes around the nest, checks for parasites on her chicks' bodies. They stir and cry out in hunger. But alas, Mom flies away yet again without feeding them. The chicks settle down, hungry, lulled to sleep by the gentle breeze which rocks their nest, ruffles their tender, sticky feathers, and takes them to dreamland. Let's have a look at the nest now. It's constructed in a very complex manner. There are metal wires, twigs, and threads, and whatnot, which go into making a crow haven. Birds are indeed amazing architects. The chicks are protected and are cozy in the nest. That is their world. Mother checks and keeps a close watch and sees that they are comfortable. But she has to fly out frequently to bring food for the growing babies. Meanwhile, the chicks are left to themselves and they pass the time playing and sleeping. One little chick pokes his head out of the nest ever so often to have a look at the things around him. Curiosity that befits a crow. Mother comes back soon, this time with food. The moment she lands on the nest, she is greeted by noisy, famished mouths. Mother takes great pleasure in regurgitating the food into their tiny mouths. She takes care to see that both are fed equally. But at the end, it is the survival of the fittest. This time, the father too joins the family to see if he can offer any help, but leaves soon, waiting for mom to finish her job. The chicks are fed again after regurgitating. Then, mom checks for tidbits lying in the nest and clears them. After a while, Dad comes with a large chunk of meat in his beak. He also feeds the babies. Like humans, both parents share the responsibilities in raising the siblings. Child rearing is not an easy job, especially when the house is located about 50 feet off the ground on a tree, hanging in the air, exposed to the sun, wind, and rain. Hunger satiated, the babies relax as the parents watch over them. The gentle breeze lulls them to sleep. Soft feathers like gossamer keep them warm. But danger is always lurking around the corner. Mother senses some movement. The father immediately flies out to check. In the meantime, the mother spots a metal wire point which is hurting the back of a baby. She gently pushes it back with her beak, displaying typical human-like protective instincts. The chicks keep their pink beaks wide open during the hot afternoon, apparently to dissipate heat. The frenzied feeding continues, and now the chicks have grown nicely. Their heads no longer loll and they become more demanding and pushy. They bear an uncanny resemblance to their parents. They call louder and have become more vociferous. But they haven't mastered the flying skill yet. But hey, there's time for that. Till then, why not enjoy mom's tender care and warmth? Their appetite surges even more, and the parents now find it tiring to feed them. Both parents scurry in search of food and are kept very busy trying to meet the chicks' growing demands. The chicks, meanwhile, watch the outside world with wonder. As they watch their parents fly away each time, they too wish to go with them. One day, the wind started blowing very hard. The tree and branches began to sway dangerously. The frightened chicks braced themselves and stayed secure within the nest. The wind sways the branch violently and one of the chicks falls from the nest. These are often the perils of outgrowing the nests. With no space to maneuver, chicks lose their balance and fall to the hard ground. Only the fittest survive in this wild world. The loss of a chick sends mom into a tizzy, and she calls out to the father for help by making a cawing SOS. Father rushes back and they fly out in search of the missing baby. The chick which went missing could not be traced. The surviving chick was left alone in the nest. It has grown and with more moving space is now able to stretch its wings and preen the feathers, readying itself for its first flight. But life has its own twists and turns, for nobody could predict what was to happen in the crow house. These are the vagaries of nature. One fine morning, everything appeared normal in the nest. But a peak showed otherwise. The grown-up chick in the nest had somehow got its leg entangled in a mesh of wire, which was, ironically, put there to secure the nest to the tree. The entanglement was so tight and strong that the chick could not free itself from it even after hours of struggle. The more it struggled, the more it got exhausted and finally gave up. Parents got worried as they had sensed the outcome of this mishap and tried to help, but in vain. The entangled baby just lay there in its own nest, helpless, thirsty, and hungry. In human society, if any emergency occurs, people help each other, and there are disaster management teams working to confront any emergency. But who is to help an insignificant, trapped little bird so high up on a tree in a nest amid thick foliage? By now, the chick was badly hurt and blood was oozing out from the wound. The entangled leg had broken and the chick was almost paralyzed. It was time for some human intervention. For those who are helpless, God manifests in different forms. This time, in the form of a team of young boys trained in bird rescue operations. Word had got around and they came to help. With a long telescopic pole and a hook wire attached at one end, they lost no time in starting the rescue operation. After surveying the nest location, one member of the team took position right under the nest, while the other took up a vantage point outside an apartment window from where the nest was more accessible. With great care and concern for the young bird's safety, the rescue team coaxed the hook onto the branch and gently extracted the young one. It was a difficult job to reach the nest, which was almost 20 feet away. But They managed to release the bird from the entangled wire by breaking the branch. By the time it came into the hands of the rescuer, it was bleeding and panting for breath after all the flapping it had done to free itself. The whole rescue operation took not more than 15 minutes. The entanglement was removed carefully. They handled the crow baby very tenderly. Without wasting any more time, the team secured the wounded bird gently into a cardboard box and rushed it to the vet. After all the drama that unfolded above the ground, the nest now stands empty, vacant, a mute testimony to what had happened in the past month. The remnants of the empty nest sways eerily on the branch of the tree, much in the same way human homes do when they become empty when the kids leave home. But life does not stop, does it? Come next spring, crows will build nests and lay eggs and bring up their chicks much in the same way. Urbanization and deforestation will force clever crow parents to use dangerous mangled wires to secure their nests, which become a bed of thorns to the chicks. Some chicks will survive, whereas some will perish. This is the law of nature. But when will we humans learn to share our space with the birds? When will we stop urbanizing so that we don't see cradle deaths?